We are live for another week of Dry Ice Shop Live. Seems like that took a little longer than usual. So my name's Aiden and this is Rebecca. We're from the Dry Ice Shop. Hope everyone's doing well.
Hey, everybody.
Just thinking back on how many years it's been that we've been doing live streams. I know it started with the foundation, but hopefully you're used to that little delay before we can start the meeting. Anyways.
We sit here
It's always
silent,
like-
going,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my other screen. It's like
Whenever you-
the awkwardness moment.
Never quite sure how much is going to be on the recording of us just waiting for it to start. But anyways,
I
okay.
need to like go back and watch one sometime.
I'm pretty sure
figure that out.
It usually starts when I say and we're live. So anyways, okay. Oh, getting a little meta here. All right, so it is the Thursday after Labor Day, and I would say it's been a pretty full week, but I'm super grateful for everyone handling things over the weekend and this week. I don't think we're behind in too many regards. So yeah, we had
It's being behind in some regards a requirement.
not a requirement, but for having
a habit.
Yeah. For having Monday off, I feel like I haven't
True,
had
true,
to fill in for anyone this week. I got in on Tuesday and shipping had it covered. I offered multiple times to help out with Heather, but she took all the calls and did all the emails with a little bit of prep over the weekend. So it was great. Yeah, we shipped out 322 orders over Monday and Tuesday. Valkyrie and E came in to ship, and Gary kind of prepped those orders over the weekend. Heather and I were in Gorgeous this weekend, and Rebecca was in the office kind of supervising shipping.
You
on
do
Monday.
realize nobody knows what you're talking about when you say that we were in Gorgeous.
Yeah, right. Yep, just email and phones. That's right. Gorgeous.
We have this CRM,
Yeah,
piece of software that handles everything that comes in: phone calls, texts, emails, Facebook post comments, what have you. That's our catch-all.
Yeah, that's our CRM, just like Rebecca said. So I would say a pretty successful Labor Day weekend, and got some sales to boot. We did our stock up sale, and this week we've got 10% off multi-dose preservative-free eye drops. I excluded Fresh Coat from the sale, but other than that,
multi-dose preservative-free eye drops. So those
Yeah.
are not going to necessarily be completely intuitive to everybody. I'm thinking maybe a quick
screen
link.
share or link. Yeah.
There's we've got that. Just remind myself, because I haven't been on this part of the site in a little while, but when you go to the lubricants, there's a little delay, and then there's these filters where you can choose, and you can pick the dispenser type, and it'll have a bottle, preservative-free bottle option there. So looking at oh yeah, cool. So that's
Lubricants.
Refresh Reliva, Oasis. It looks like Fresh Coat isn't part of that sale.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or okay.
Yeah, I excluded that one.
Optase. I was talking to somebody about Optase dry ice spray the other day as a potentially friendly thing for like when you're driving, if the alternative is pull over to put in some drops. Of course, best thing is wear some moisture chamber glasses so you don't need to, but on long drives we need to sometimes anyway. Sustain Hydration. I have a bottle of that with the label peeling off that I'm using at home. I still really like that one. I never thought I would like a Sustain drop. Sorry, Alcon, but I just never thought I would, and I do like Sustain Hydration. Optase MGD Advanced, and then Sustain Complete, which is finally available preservative-free.
Yeah. So I'm in our specific collection, but let me go to the lubricants and show people the filters. Yeah, we have a collection of the lubricants.
Okay, that's weird. So the homeopathics don't show when you use the filter. Oh, probably because it's already.
They're not tagged, or.
Interesting. We need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can play around with the type and the dispenser and the ingredients and the brand. But yeah, so that's how Rebecca got there, was the dispenser, preservative-free bottle.
And you can see from the, if you hover over the dispenser thing for a second, Aiden.
Yeah.
You can see from this, almost everything we sell is preservative-free, right? And those few exceptions, actually tap on that one. I think it's the gels and maybe Lacquer Lube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gels, which are the non-greasy thick stuff, polymer gels, have the dissipating type of preservative that's supposed to be preservative-free on the eye. Refresh Lacquer Lube. We stock that because there are some people that really, really want it, and we've just kept it around. Otherwise, we'd really, really try to avoid everything with preservatives to the extent we can. I think the other area would be like contact lens wetting drops, because most of those are preserved still.
Right. Yeah. Actually, backwarders on most of the re-wetting drops, but hopefully
really,
hoping those are gonna resolve themselves.
Can you bring up that list?
I'm wondering if it's under sclerals.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it would say out of stock, so maybe they came in, or maybe they were manufactured backward and we still have them in stock.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, they're still available. Just kind of remember that coming
I don't know why anyone, well, I suppose it's a price thing, but I was gonna say, I just don't know why anyone would get that Refresh Relieva, because the preservative-free Refresh Relieva is also labeled for contact lens use, the one in the multi-dose preservative-free bottle.
I've never found that on the packaging, and Alcon doesn't, it's not Alcon.
Allergan.
Allergan doesn't have language about it being
Really?
contact lens compatible.
They told me that when they first brought it out.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of backtracked on that.
Oh,
it's definitely not on the package.
Maybe that was, oh, okay. Thinking back, that might have been like premature. That might have been in anticipation. I know there was some FDA rule changes this year about these kind of combination drug device things, which is, I think, where the contact lens wetting drops fall into. Okay, I'll stop saying that and I'll find out for sure. Thanks for the catch.
Yeah, I've had people ask before. Off the top of my head, the new Avisia drops are contact lens compatible. Optase drops are, although I'm not sure you'd want to use the MGD.
The word compatible is a little bit tricky, though. It's like labeled for it versus actually compatible. Yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, Avisia, are you saying that it's labeled for contact lens use as well as
labeled as safe for use with contacts? Yeah.
Anyways,
all right. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't remember if we talked about this last week on the live stream, but the price of sclerofill is going to be going up next week. Our pricing for the manufacturers increased significantly. We're going to have to pass some of that increase on in a higher price. So you've got this week and until Thursday next week, really to Wednesday next week to place an order for sclerofill.
Yeah, and I think last week we mentioned how the price had already gone up on Amazon and then they brought it back down. So I don't know what that means, if they, found some more stock somewhere that was bought at the old price, but I cannot believe that they will leave it at that price considering how much the manufacturer raised it. Unless they made it a special high price for us, but I don't really believe that either.
All right. Now back on eye drops, do you want to talk a little bit about preservatives?
Yeah, so I had jotted down a note to mention this today, and I can't remember the context where the thought came up. But it was about an eye drop I ran across from a trusted dry eye brand. And I came across this, I don't know, sometime within the past year, and it made me really give a double take. And I was like, wait, no way. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? So I'm going to back up. A big education platform for us for a long time has been preservatives. And the question is not, are preservatives evil? They're not. There's an important role for preservatives, right? Keep us safe, keep the bugs out of the bottle. But when there is something that you're putting in your eye frequently, and it has one of the more toxic preservatives in it, you can be causing new problems even while you're treating existing problems. And so the world in dry eye in general has been shifting away from preservatives for a long time. And a lot of doctors now, there's still this kind of conventional wisdom of, if you're using drops more than 3 or 4 times a day, then it's time to switch to preservative free. But for a lot of existing dry eye patients, they're basically saying just be preservative free across the board, right? And the industry has been doing a good job a reasonably good job of responding to that by making preservative-free easier and better. I, have been talking for a long time about the shift from the individual vials, which are a nuisance and expensive and wasteful, and not the safest things too, because we all know we all recap them, right? Or just leave vials open. Nobody wants to throw them away until they've gotten every last little bitty drop out of there. But shifting from those vials to the preservative-free multi-dose bottles that have the funky caps and tops and everything, and that everybody loves to complain about because of the way they work. But in terms of safety and better health for the ocular surface, that's the way to be. And we anticipate the industry is just going to continue shifting in that direction for both OTC and prescription drugs more and more over time. So when you look at what all is out there in terms of eye drops, on the kind of high end of the drops, you're seeing most things moving to preservative-free. You're seeing a lot of the best ones moving to preservative-free bottles, but you're also seeing a whole lot of common ones that are still in a regular bottle with some kind of preservative in it. And those are the ones that are for more kind of casual dry eye. People have a bottle of drops that they use now and then. It totally makes sense for that bottle to be preserved if it's something they're going to be keeping around for a year, right? Or more. As long as the preservative that's in that bottle isn't something that's too harmful too. So in terms of the preservatives in artificial tear type products or lubricant eye drops, almost all of them have long since gone to the mildest types of preservatives, the polyquads and things like that. So if you're looking at a bottle of a Systane or a Refresh drop, the preservative in there is not going to be something where you go, oh my God, I can't believe that's in there. Every now and then I'll run across something that has the big bad one, right? Called BAC, benzalkonium chloride, which is in most prescription drugs, but it's long since been eased out of most over-the-counter dry eye drops. But once in a while, I'll find like a generic from a drugstore that still has BAC in it, which to me is like totally counterproductive. How can you be treating dry eye and exacerbating it with that type of preservative at the same time, right? Then I talked to somebody maybe a month ago who called up, I think this was with my foundation hat on, not shop hat on, but he was asking about some drops that he was sent by the VA, some artificial tears that it turned out had benzalkonium chloride or BAC in them. And I was just floored because it's just so old school. And especially for somebody with other eye conditions going on, it's just not a great thing. But those are few and far between. So all of that was just context for how I felt when I came across the new Avenova brand eye drop. And so this is from NovaBay. And can you bring up their page?
Mm-hmm. For the site or?
Yeah, and just navigate to the drop.
Yep.
I guess is it novabay.com?
It's Avenova. Anyways, share screen.
Right. So if you're kind of an old hand at this like me, or if you're a savvy dry eye patient, you can tell just looking at that bottle, okay, that's not preservative free, period, right? Anything that has that kind of top and dropper to it is not going to be a preservative free drop. But then can you tap on the label? I don't know if I can see the drug facts thing. Is it on there?
Probably the next one.
Yeah,
Ingredients.
there we go.
Yeah.
Benzalkonium chloride and the inactives. And this product just came out. Was it this year or late last year? And I just had to give this thing a double take and go, are you kidding me? This savvy company that makes this great lid cleansing product is bringing out this totally retrogressive eye drop for dry eye. So to me, that was a red flag warning of just because something is a certain brand doesn't mean you stop reading the labels. Be a smart label reader. Look for benzalkonium chloride. And maybe you can post the links. I'm thinking the lubricant ingredient guide, which we have. Do we also have in the help desk for the shop?
We do.
The article on BAC.
Yeah, it's not in the drops part. It's in the miscellaneous part, but.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is our ingredient guide.
The drops part. I
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So this will highlight in bright red anything that's got benzalkonium chloride. I haven't actually put the Avenova drop on that list. Come to think of it, need to add it. And then need to add it to the back page also. Where is that?
So miscellaneous. Yeah, common OTC and RX drops preserved with back.
Yeah, then under the over-the-counters, that's where I need to add it. If any of this looks unfamiliar, by the way, you should poke around in the DryShop knowledge base. We got all kinds of fun things in there.
Yeah, products.dryshop.com. I'll put that link in there. Anyways.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that new Avenova drop earlier this year.
You know, making comments like this to me kind of goes against the grain. I very rarely get up on my soapbox and say to any particular company, boo, do a better job. But I'm going to have to say to NovaBay, boo, this is not cool. Back preserved artificial tears for dry eye, advertised for dry eye. This is way not cool. You should do a better job.
Anyways.
Grand pause after Rebecca delivers lecture. All right, shifting gears.
Yeah. So if you've been on the past couple live streams, you've heard Rebecca and I kind of working through our marketing thoughts. Well, we're subjecting the team to the same level of introspection. And I'm always self-conscious about even speaking to small groups, but I am hopeful that we're having good conversations today. And we started this morning kind of talking about, well, company values and how Rebecca and I expect the company to grow, or how we're kind of setting goals for growth, and talking more about what each individual's values are and how we want to grow in our jobs. We want to grow as a team, what goals we want to set, whether they be sales goals, kind of productivity, learning new things, training, just kind of putting it all out there with the team this week. And I hope that it's kind of inspiring, just thinking about people's jobs differently, thinking about what they contribute, and wow, what do I actually want out of my job? I think starting to talk about the company values, it's perfectly logical to me that we all have different values, and I want to listen to everyone's values. And I think we have a great team. We did a good job hiring people who are in line with our mission and our values. But even myself, it's like, well, yeah, what values do I bring to the team? What values do I have that people don't know about? What can we learn by talking about these things? And given our different perspectives and our kind of role within the company, how do we want to grow? Where would we like to see ourselves in a year, in 6 months, in 5 years? Where is sales going to be? Where are people going to be sitting? Do we have extra storage, shipping space? What's working now that we want to continue doing? What's not working so well that we're going to, set goals for so we can add this new thing? Or, maybe the team wants to set aside more budget for team retreat stuff. Maybe they want to, have matching donations to the charities of their choice. I don't know. That's kind of what our day-to-day is talking about. So always leaning on Rebecca to summarize my.
And you did a great job this morning with the team. It's good. I'm awkward with small groups internally, especially. Myself, I have so much discomfort with so many of the words of the things that we're talking about, and so part of this exercise has been about bringing new definitions and new meanings to them, making things meaningful to us, just redefining what does growth mean to us? What does marketing, oh my God, mean to us? What sales mean to us? Some of these things that I just have negative associations with for whatever reason, and coming up with new ideas. I mean, growth, we were talking about this morning, that just pictures sales charts with up, and all this crap, right? And that's just not where our values are, in numbers for the sake of numbers, or get larger for the sake of getting larger. So we were breaking that down into things like, for us, a part of our need for some type of growth is just for sustainability. We want to be financially strong so that we can do what we do well. And since service is such an enormous part of our mission, we want to make sure we're serving well and consistently, and that we have the financial strength to be able to do that. And somewhere in what you were saying earlier, the phrase sales goals slipped out of your mouth, and I was like, ah! So that maybe was making me think too, what even a phrase like that would mean to us. To me, the idea of a sales goal, as in we're selling this much and we need to sell that much, it just makes me want to cringe and run the other way, right? So other than within that larger sustainability goal, it's just hard to relate to the terms. So I started while you were talking, just thinking about that. How would we redefine a sales goal here by our values? I mean, I'm going to give an example that somebody will probably want to shoot me for, but for me, honestly, a sales goal is I want to sell less Pure Lens and more other salines, because I believe in unit doses from a safety perspective. And I worry, although I love Pure Lens, I love the company, I love the fact that they saved everyone when Unisol 4 went away and we had such a hard time. And I really, really appreciate their business, their team, and what they've done and all that. Yet Pure Lens bottles get abused like crazy. And we've seen studies about the bacteria gathering in those bottles very soon after the bottles get opened. So I worry about them from a safety standpoint. So anyway, that's my type of goal. I don't know, what else? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Did you have anything in mind with it?
Yeah, it's just, these are not the conversations that happen to wrap up in an hour today. I think we're definitely getting the conversation started with the team. It's always a process of Rebecca and I brainstorming. And gosh, we take more than an hour when we talk about these things. So it is kind of a gargantuan task for today. But there's a lot to be said for articulating our values and being intentional about the things we do, even though I know we all hold ourselves to a really high standard here and we have great checks and balances and do right by everyone that comes through. Just thinking about how things will change, how operations and our point of view will change if we have kind of articulated values in front of us, and being able to explain to customers better. I mean, if our value and our product is providing service to people, we have to price things in order to be able to do that. I mean, we have high costs for customer service. We have, I mean, my time goes into niche kind of product consultations with people. So does Rebecca's. That has to be reflected in the way we run the business. Otherwise, we just can't support any of it. So articulating the values helps us explain everything we do at the shop and keep our operations is a terrible word, but keep the things that we do in line with the values that we want. And
I was just working on repricing today. I've been putting that as off for forever. It's like my most hated project. I did some repricing on some of the lid products last week, and today I was working on the lubricant drops. And every time I do something like that, then I'm out there Googling, what are all these other companies charging for it? And then just having to kind of cover my eyes and hit the go button on our new prices, knowing here's what we paid for it. Here's how much we have to get out of it to keep the lights on, and trusting that, people understand and figuring out how we articulate things. Yeah, the uncomfortable, I mean, I appreciate getting these conversations going, because it's, to me, just inherently uncomfortable trying to get a lot of these things into words, but yet I think, and I'd much rather just be doing stuff than talking about what we're doing and why, right? But yet somehow describing why, I mean, where are we coming from? What do we believe in? Why do we do what we do? It is helpful. And partly too, I feel like putting some of those things into words is even helpful to us ourselves to just stay accountable. I think about our service ethics and how committed we are to that. And then one really rambunctious, insulting, painful customer comes through, ruins everybody's day, and I just want to go swat and fire the customer, right? And then I have to say to myself, yeah, no, how do we live out our own values of service in that situation? How do we parse this? How do we make sure everybody's getting treated right? Where's the give and take in those situations? It just gets really, really interesting. But putting things into words makes me more conscious of accountability in every individual situation, both externally and internally here.
And it's about finding the conflicts between different values. I mean, high standard for customer service, and then I don't know. I know the instance you're talking about. Another value is just respect and making sure everyone gets treated well. And so, at what point do the scales tip and you don't? Yeah, where do our values overlap or clash? And
I don't want
yeah,
customers yelling at or cussing
yeah,
out my staff. Oh my God, that's where I really have to go take a walk and calm down and write a firm but not abusive email to the customer or something. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to having everyone thinking about these things and just having space to talk about what they see, what we're trying to do, and what we need to talk about more. And it's always been about conversations for us. Yeah, I think it will help us lead the company better to just be on the same page about our values. And yeah, I think I'm even thinking about things in a different perspective after the 30-minute conversation we had this morning. So stay
All right, we
tuned
are
if it
30
interests
seconds
you.
away from our team meeting
Oh my
now, so
goodness. All
we
right,
better go.
perfect. Okay, take